Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all can be with us. Going to bring in our friends also on Instagram so they can be a part of our conversation as well. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a returning guest is with us, though, but he has a new book that's out since the last time he and I talked. So I'm excited to talk with him about that. What's been like for him to see the growth in his business, but also in his reach and the work that he's doing as well. If you guys are not staying connected with him, we will let you guys know how to do that. And we're now live on the Amazon Live platform with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also want to see the books by our next guest. Excited to welcome author William D. McCreary to our broadcast today. William is not only an author, also an entrepreneur. We want to talk to him about a very busy 2025 that he's been able to have, but also he has a brand new book that's out for you guys joining us on the Amazon side. Going to go ahead and highlight for you guys a hidden surprise in the forest. You all can see it there. We're going to talk to William about the new book, what it's been like for him to see the response, as well as how you all can stay connected with him. William, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cyrus. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Look, the pleasure is definitely all mine. So, William, as I mentioned, you've had a very busy year, as we were just talking about, both of us kind of have. But what has it been like for you to not only be able to continue to get your name out there, but also to be able to share with people what you're doing in your business, as well as with your books?
It's just all around. It's been phenomenal. A whole phenomenal year from the beginning of the year and in January to currently. I'm just humbled and excited to be a part of the journey and enjoying the success of the books.
Yeah. So, and I think this is the interesting thing, William, about you is that you've been able to show people what's possible. You've been able to balance family, balance, of course, writing, as we talked about with the books. You now have three books that's out. I have two of them here with me in the studio, but also, of course, running a business. Have you always known that being an entrepreneur was something that you wanted to do?
No, not exactly. But I mean, my mother was a hairdresser.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of been something that's always been around that I've seen. So, for me to follow in those footsteps behind her and other family members,
Mhm.
it's just, I guess it was just meant to be.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think, being able to start a business, to be able to build anything on your own, that takes a lot of courage. But talk to us about writing, William. I mean, when did you first realize that writing was something you wanted to do?
It's writing has been a passion of mine for quite some time. Back when I was in high school, I started to try to write. Um, Life happens,
Mhm.
so things it took a little longer to take off like it is now than I expected.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now, like I mentioned, you have three books out. Hello to you, Joseph Syndicate. Good to be able to see you over there on IG. The Real Lady Extreme. Hello to you. Good to be able to see you over there on IG as well. But now, of course, you've been able to have three books, and I should mention three books that are geared towards children. So, talk to us about that audience because you've been able to. When you and I first met each other, William, you were already doing. Book signings, you were already doing book discussions. What has it been like for you to be able to see the way that people are responding to the stories?
People are gravitating towards it. The first book, A Little Boy and the Dragon, is geared to the special needs community. My son's on the spectrum, so
Mhm.
that's where everything kind of started for me.
Okay.
Um, he likes to read, so with him liking to read, I didn't want him always to be focused on his head down in the tablet or into the TV.
Yeah.
So being able to do something for him has just been spectacular.
Love that. I have a little boy and a dragon. I have it highlighted for you guys on the Amazon side. You all can see it there. I have the Kindle edition myself. I do have, though, the print edition, William, of your second book. And that was the first book you and I talked about. My dad is a big truck driver. I'm going to let our audience see it there on the Amazon side, but also on the simulcast. What I loved about this book, William, of course, you also being a truck driver yourself, this book also shows us that there are different types of truck drivers. What was it like for you to be able to tell this story, but also to educate young people when it comes to the different type of drivers out there?
I think the biggest thing was the education side.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be fun and educational, informative. Uh,
Hmm.
the industry it gets overlooked for how much work we actually do. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to highlight it for the guys and for myself.
Love that. Relate Extreme. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all the support. Joseph Syndicate says, great to see more children's books reflective of every child. That is a great point, Joseph. So I want to talk about that. Joseph Syndicate that I met there in Louisiana. Um, William brings up a really good point about people being able to see themselves in books. As you mentioned, you have a son that's on the spectrum. When you wrote that book, and I'm going to highlight it again for our audience on Amazon, when you wrote A Little Boy and a Dragon, did you think about at the time that there would be people literally around the world that could benefit from this story?
It hadn't crossed my mind,
Okay.
but now that it's out there, I'm just happy and enthused that it can touch and reach the rest of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about creativity before we get into the third book that I have here, your newest book, William, because I think being entrepreneurial and being creative don't always go together, right? Because,
Right.
I'm someone who's like that too, who the creative side came first for me, but then I've learned how to build a business, even though the creative part is the most fun for me. For a lot of people, the business part is the most fun. How do you balance that? The creativity of writing with also what it takes to have the structure of building a business like you're building with your enterprise?
It was just one step at a time, one thing at a time. The creativeness, the creativeness of designing certain things like the logo and the shirts
Hmm.
and the pictures and stuff like that. That started first. It's always kind of like been there. I've been working on it. It was just getting it out there as the brand on the brand side. The books kind of fell suit right behind it. And then, I was doing reels as well. It's just everything just started happening all at once. So I just kind of collectively put it together. And now it's just developed into something great.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about building a business online and offline. It's something I've been talking a lot about, William, because I think a lot of times it's easy for people to get so focused on one they neglect the other. And I'm of the belief that we need both, right? I mean, you and I were introduced to a mutual friend online, true. We're about to meet for the first time though offline and be able to meet, in with a different audience. How have you balanced that? Because as I mentioned, you've been online, like you mentioned, doing reels, doing posts online. But as I also mentioned, you've been doing in-person events too. How have you balanced the two of those things, both what you do online as well as meeting people in person?
That Google schedule, just having a schedule in itself and
Yeah.
being able to be productive and staying busy.
Hmm.
It's very hard to juggle uh, real life and being a business owner and a designer. It's a lot of hats. And I just, like I said, I feel very privileged to be able to wear those hats and express myself and my articulate side and put it out there for the world.
Yeah.
I know everybody's not as fortunate. They have a lot of ideas in their head and they
Right.
wouldn't want to put it on paper, but it just doesn't come out like they would like on paper. And so I'm just fortunate enough again to say that, I've been able to find a healthy balance. It's still a struggle.
Hmm.
It's a struggle each and every day, but I'm finding a way to kind of like persevere and push forward.
Yeah. So let's talk about the struggle then. That's a good thing that you bring up, William, because I think especially for a lot of people out there that do have a family, they have other responsibilities. Like you said, there are people who want to do it. Like you said, they may even have ideas, but what is it that has helped you to follow through? Because I found for a lot of people, they talk about, well, I want to do this. I've always thought about starting a business or writing a book or whatever it may be. What has helped you to not just talk about it, but also to actually do it?
The passion, the persistence, always wanting to do this. I wanted to kind of like get my brand out very early on
Hmm.
when I was first getting out of the military. I
Okay.
was just trying to get my name out there and see where it would land and where it would fit.
Hmm.
It took 15, 16 years for things to kind of develop.
Mm.
Like I said, it's that struggle, being persistent. If you have a passion, you have a dream, you have a goal,
Hmm.
I wouldn't say chase it, pursue it to the best of your abilities. I know
Yeah.
life throws curveballs, people die, accidents, things happen.
Right.
But just being able to, work at it, work towards something. You get some type of fulfillment at the end.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I'm going to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, but we are simulcasting it across social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. William D. McCreary is our guest for today's segment. We're talking with him about a very busy 2025 he's been able to have, but also he's been very involved in building his business and also writing books. And that leads us to the newest book you have here, William. Again, going to highlight for you guys over on the Amazon side, A Hidden Surprise in the Forest. So we talked about your first book, A Boy and a Dragon. We talked about this book that I have here with me as well. My dad is a big truck driver. But how did A Hidden Surprise in the Forest come about, William?
A Hidden Surprise in the Forest. I just had this, I was inspired. I was inspired by someone. And so since I was inspired, I was able to develop something from being inspired by that person. I also put my son in the storyline as well. So I'm just enthused to be able to get it out there to the world. I myself grew up deep in the woods. So A Hidden Surprise was the fitting title for the book. So, it kind of just resonates with how I was that kind of surprise in the forest myself.
And you have your main character that's in the book, Gail. And Gail is an interesting character, William, because for one, she's curious, like a lot of children are, but she's also out to help. And I won't spoil anything for our audience, but she's out to help others so that they, can be safe. Hey, Mom. My mom's joining us over on Facebook. Good to be to see you, Mom. How important has that been for you to share that lesson with especially with young people, about the importance of being adventurous, but also being concerned about others other than themselves?
I try to stick with the theme that I had from the first book.
Okay.
We got a big issue with bullying and kids teasing. Kids can be vicious early on in elementary school and in middle school. So I just wanted to be able to kind of get them to understand other people being different and lending a helping hand. And it's okay to want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. I think that's the great thing. This book also has a different look. Did you work with a different illustrator on this one?
I did work with a different company, a different personnel to develop it. That one is very much so smaller. On the Barnes and Noble website, they actually had the hardback, and the hardback is bigger, it's bold, it's very colorful. I really like it. That one right there is a little smaller, but like I said, I really like the hardback. I encourage people to go over to the Barnes and Noble website and check it out and get the hardback.
Well, I think that is a cool thing too, that you're able to have it in different ways as well. Of course, since we're on Amazon, William, we want to make sure they stay on Amazon and get the one like I got here for sure. But I think the thing about this book, A Hidden Surprise in the Forest, for myself, William, that I really like too, is the idea of being able to share. Again, that's another thing that Gail's able to do. And it's really interesting the way the story kind of unfolds, and to show how things can happen. And hopefully we will, if we're in a position to help others, as Gail finds herself to do, that we will be able to be like that for sure. What has that been like for you, William, to be able to target a younger audience with your books, but also have great lessons for us as adults too that we should remember?
The kids are our future. So since the kids are our future, I figured the best way to get them is to get them early and to have them read and being curious about reading and learning how you can enjoy it and make it a part of your life. I think, our kids, they kind of grow up a little too fast with these devices and social media and the internet. So I'm trying to reel them back in to have that imagination side, to be creative, because that's how the new developers of the world are created. This is basically a lot about myself again. I got a lot of different things balled up inside of me. So just getting it to spew out, is very important to me.
Right. Was it's great to be able to see it all come together. And I just thought about it. I mentioned my mom watching us on Facebook when we did our last interview. If you remember, William, she was there with us in the library. I was doing it from the Pearl Library, I think, is when and she was actually there with me at the Pearl Library there when we did your interview there. It's a great book, William, a great connection. Before we let you go, I do want to talk about the business side a little bit. So talk to us about the name of your business and some of the things that you specialize in outside of the books.
Well, it's called VAP Enterprise. You know, we got the logo and the designs. We make shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Working on beanies right now. You saw the tumbler earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that stuff, like I said, it's my hand design.
Okay.
I wanted to like reach the kids, you know, like I said, my son being on the spectrum, I wanted them to be able to have something to go along with their books as well. That just resonated with wholeness, warmth, and love.
Love that. Love that. Kathleen said when you were talking about the children, Kathleen is joining us over on LinkedIn. Hey, Kathleen, she said truth spoken when you're talking about the children and being able to give them something, William. So it's great for our audience to be able to know William D. McCreary is our guest. He has 3 books that are here on Amazon. I'm going to go through them again for you guys. A Little Boy and a Dragon. You all can get that in print or the Kindle edition. I have the Kindle edition of that one. You can get his book, My Dad is a Big Truck Driver. I have the print edition of this one, but you can also get the Kindle edition there on Amazon as well. And then last but certainly not least is William's newest book. You all can see there, A Hidden Surprise in the Forest. It also is available in print or in Kindle here on Amazon. But as you heard William say, if you're on another place, you can get it at another place as well. But you're on Amazon, so we want you to get it here on Amazon. William, congratulations to you, man. How can our audience stay connected with you?
Well, you guys, you can Google me, William D. McCreary. That's WILLIAMDMCCREARY, and my books will come up, all versions. You can also reach me on social media, William McCreary on Facebook, Instagram. It's at Mr. _BAP. TikTok, William McCreary. Like I said, you can just find me on those sites, and I'm available.
There you go. I think it's pronounced Kaja Teach. I think that's correct on Instagram. Hello to you. Thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations to you again, William. Great to be able to catch up and looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
Great. I appreciate everything, Cyrus. Look forward to seeing you.
All right, same here. And we thank your audience for tuning in. Another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, y'all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.